The internet, very long memory. It's impossible to get stuff off of there. We're talking about everything from forgotten social media profiles to photos from a college party you may not remember, and lots of other reasons as well. Scammers taking advantage of all this information to steal from you and from other people. In 2024, scammers stole a record $16.6 billion through internet crimes like identity theft and online impersonation. That is a 33% jump from the year before. So, how can you protect yourself? That's where the CBS News Confirmed team comes in. Alex Clark with our team put together some tips so you do not become a scammer's next victim.
Nearly everything you do online leaves behind a trail of data. They're like little breadcrumbs. So we're using an example named Tina today, and these breadcrumbs that she's leaving behind represents the data that she's left while browsing online. So what happens is behind the scenes, your data gets collected by what's called data brokers. They may sell your data to advertisers, political organizations, and even to people finder sites. She doesn't want that, so here's how she can try to stop that. First, Tina can investigate her digital trail. She can go to Google her name, username, and addresses to see what comes up. And Google also has a new tool called Results About You that will do this automatically if you trust them. And she can also use a website that searches for her history using her email, so that's another option. These are her search results that she finds. So first off, there's an old MySpace page. Second, there's a Facebook album with a wild party on it. Next, her full address is listed on a People Finder site, and her phone number is listed on a colleague's resume. So how can she clean this all up? Our first tip is to delete any accounts you don't want to appear anymore. So does she really need this old MySpace page? No, delete it. Next, let's take a look at this social album. When she logs into Facebook, she's going to look for the 3 dots in the album. And when she selects that, she can go to edit her privacy settings. She'll select friends so that strangers can no longer see these. Next, there's a People Finder website that has Tina's address on it. And most of these sites have what's called an opt-out page. So she's going to go there and see if she can get her data removed. Some services will do it for you, but there's no guarantee that it's gone for good. So now we've cleaned up most of Tina's data, but there's still one thing left, the resume, her number on a colleague's resume. And this wasn't even in her control. She was listed as a reference for someone, which is something that's easy to forget about. So how can you tackle those? What she's going to want to do is limit how often she gives her name and address online, use unique, secure passwords, and make sure that her connections are secure. Just look for the S and the lock in the bar. Lastly, she's going to discuss her data goals with friends and family. She asks her friend to remove that number, problem solved.
I love these tips. They're so specific, and you just walk us through how to do them. Yeah, Alex, thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
So on that last point, when your number, if your number is listed on someone else's document, like someone else's resume, if you're listed as a reference, you can't do anything about that really, but you can kind of scale back your own behavior, as you pointed out. Is there any way to delete that?
Well, unfortunately, there's no way to completely eliminate all the data you have online. But using these tips and working with other people, your friends and family, letting them know what your goals are, you can actually get some of it taken down or at least harder to surface when you search. And that's, going to protect you in the long run.
If you think a scammer or anyone else already has your data, what do you do then? You call them up?
Yeah, that can be extremely terrifying. Just think about it. Some of your most personal details are out there on the internet. And with artificial intelligence and other new tools, they can be used against you in new ways. So it's important to act fast. You want to enable two-factor authentication on your accounts. Yeah. Set up new secure passwords. I'm talking 12 characters, numbers and digits,
Alex.
Mix it up.
No more passwords.
The quicker you act, the better.
All right. I got some passwords to change, Tony.
All your passwords are curse word, this password?
I can't tell you, but my passwords are, the root of it is old, and I just keep adding.
I hate this password.
Alex Clark, thank you so much.
Now to a story from our CBS News Confirmed team. There are people at the network that sort out fact from fiction. You probably have heard us mention them before. And you may have heard about something called ghost jobs. Those are listings for positions that don't actually exist. You might be surprised to hear that companies are also getting scammed by job candidates that are not real either.
So take a look at this. What you're watching is a real job interview. It happened over Zoom, and on the right is a recruiter from a data security company, and on the left is a candidate that he's interviewing for a job. Only it's not a real person being interviewed. It's an AI creation. using ChatGPT for answers and software to change his appearance. The recruiter figured it out and ended the interview. But this is what's going on out here. I mean, this is
bizarre
life
to
now.
me. Yeah. Joining us now to talk about these scams is Kelly Bissell, Corporate Vice President of Fraud and Product Abuse at Microsoft. I mean, Kelly, can I just say why? Why is this happening?
Well, it's been happening for a long time. But now with AI, you have more technology and a lower cost to be able to defraud people. And so it's also preying on the fears of people looking for jobs. And I think this is something that AI is allowed to happen.
But you defraud people, so what would be the motive of somebody who shows up at a job interview using the AI impersonator?
Yeah, there's a number of reasons, but the most common ones are, one, they're maybe not qualified for the job, so they're using AI to answer the questions.
So they get the job.
Also, maybe they want more than one job to collect multiple paychecks, or they want to hide their identity so they get into the company so they can do other nefarious things.
But it's when they get the job, when they get the job, there has to be a physical person potentially, or not necessarily, depending on what the job is.
Not always.
Yeah.
Sometimes the job is always remote. So
Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Microsoft also has this new report, in fact, it's out today, outlining AI scams around fake job listings. So a real person might apply, but the job itself doesn't exist?
yeah, it could be. So on both sides. So this is where AI is being used to either attract people for the jobs, or they're creating jobs that don't exist to be able to scam people out of money.
What is Microsoft doing to try to prevent?
Oh, look, Microsoft's been working on this for a long time, and so have other tech companies. So we have built AI. We're an early adopter of AI ourselves, so we're using really complex AI models to be able to thwart $4 billion of fraud and 1.6 million bot attempts an hour.
So it's AI to take on AI. It's like releasing the tigers to take care of the bears who are going to fight the snakes, and we'll be okay in the end.
Well, this is where it's important that we know that the bad guys are using AI for bad reasons.
Right.
But companies, big and small, need to adopt AI now so they can actually combat these things.
And what I kind of love is with all of this technology, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a very simple way in some of it, if when they thought it was a bot, it's as simple as like raise your hand, that the bot wouldn't be able to do that?
Well, it's going to get more and more sophisticated, but I do think for everybody out there that is looking for jobs, they can follow what I think of as the SAFE approach, S-A-F-E. So just scrutinize the company. Is it a real company or not? A is for don't pay for fees. So when no company is going to ask you to pay for fees before the job.
Yeah.
F is for focus on the job. If it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
And then E is for examine. If you get a job offer, examine it. Make sure it's coming from an email from the hiring company,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
not a Yahoo account
Yep.
or what have you. So if you just follow the SAFE approach, you'll be okay.
You got to click on those emails. The name, if you click on it, may not match what the email
That's
is.
right.
It
Right.
can reveal
That's right.
scams quite regularly. Kelly Bissell, thank you very much. Really appreciate it from Microsoft. Forget about Las Vegas. It's now easier than ever for you or your partner or even your teen to place bets on their favorite teams using just this. All it takes is a phone. Fans will wager an estimated $3.1 billion during March Madness alone, and that makes the whole family prime targets for scammers as well. National consumer correspondent Usher Qureshi has some telltale signs for you to help avoid getting ripped off.
When you think traditionally about gambling, this is kind of what you picture.
Right.
And this time of year, it gets a little bit more busy.
That's right.
Cybersecurity firm CEO Kevin Goschak says while you take a risk betting at the casino, you're taking an even bigger gamble online.
We're in March Madness, so it's peak season for scams. Is fake websites, fake apps being set up to lure you to go and put money into them, claim you're going to win big, and then, of course, it's a rug pull. There's no money to be gained.
Online gaming platforms topped the list for suspected digital fraud in the U.S. in 2023, with TransUnion flagging nearly 11% of transactions.
From 1 second to another, it all went south.
After years of gaming online, Ricardo Rivera was hoping to cash in big to pay for his mother's cancer treatment. Instead, he says he became a fraud victim on a crypto gambling site called spinme.club.
I basically hit the biggest jackpot that they have, and it was $4 million.
Rivera had already deposited hundreds of dollars in cash and Bitcoin to open his account, but to claim his $4 million jackpot, there was a new catch. He was told to pay another $1,000 to cover taxes.
At what point did you realize you had just gotten scammed?
Right there. Right when they said you need to deposit $1,000.
He says when he complained to customer service, the site blocked him and kept his money.
Some people might say the idea of winning $4 million is so beyond expectations, you should have known better.
But I've never seen it happen to me.
Gaming is just yet another thing on their list of things they can do to scam people out of money, right?
Kevin Goschalk says the site Rivera played on appears to be unlicensed and unregulated, what he calls classic warning signs.
How do you know the difference between a legitimate online gambling operation and one that's not?
If you're intending to gamble, go with the well-known sport bet websites, the ones that you see on TV, the ones that you see advertising in media. Those are most likely to be legitimate websites.
Is it a red flag if the online platform is not available on the App Store?
Absolutely.
Other signs of potential fraud: unusually high bonus offers, any promises of guaranteed winnings, and crypto-only platforms with no credit card options.
This is a hard story to share. Why have you decided to share it with us?
Because I do think about other folks being affected by this. I know I'm not the only one. It's not a good feeling.
While the FBI receives hundreds of complaints every year about online gambling fraud, the crime may be vastly underreported because victims are too embarrassed to come forward. Now, we emailed spinme.club repeatedly to ask about Ricardo Rivera's case. All our emails bounced back, and when we reached out via chat, the site blocked us.
All right, Usher, thank you so much. Our Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady joins us now with how we can all be safe and smart shoppers. Welcome, Kelly. Perfect timing for you to be here today. So what should people know when they go to that, like the tower with all the different gift cards? What should they do to choose a gift card that's safe?
Okay, so look at it. If the protective sticker has been removed, if that barcode has been scratched off, really any signs of tampering, go talk to a store manager, and frankly, maybe even just go to a second store, because we're learning that these scammers can actually tamper in batches. And this is really important because if they have your gift card number, if they have the PIN, they can take all the money that you've loaded on for your loved one. So I know the gift card today, you're gonna run into the store, maybe do an impulse purchase at the checkout. Make sure you take the same amount of care as you would any other gift.
That is really interesting, and our crew is probably paying attention to this because that's what I got them for Christmas this year. But so why is it important, which I didn't do?
Did you check it twice?
No, and I also, I'm reading here, it says, why is it important to keep copies of the card number and the store receipt? Like, I didn't do that.
Well, okay, everyone that's getting gift cards from Vlad, maybe, yeah. Look, that's how you're going to identify your unique purchase. If you do have a tampered gift card, then you can call the company and say, look, here's my gift card number, here's my receipt number, and that can help them investigate and maybe get your money back. Exactly.
That's the problem. It's like, why can't we just shop simply? Like, everything's a headache.
Everything is a
to
hassle.
do all this extra work, and what are the chances that Vlad is actually going to do that? All his free time?
Very low. My wife knows. I'm terrible with receipts.
Is it her job to make all the phone calls?
She has all the receipts of everything she's ever purchased going back to the end of time.
Wow.
I know.
Mary is a star.
Yeah.
Okay, so if somebody among our crew suspects fraud with their gift card, what should they do?
Okay, so if Vlad used his credit card to buy, they can go to Vlad and he can then file a claim with them. They can investigate. The other thing is go to the Federal Trade Commission, and it's reportfraud.ftc.gov. You can report scams, company, or any of those unwanted fraud calls that we get too.
So here's something that I did realize. This year's shopping period is actually 5 days shorter than last year.
Mm-hmm.
How has that impacted sales for companies and for people making last-minute purchases?
So we are actually expecting sales to increase, right? I mean, prices of things have gone up, so some of it's inflation. A lot of people are shopping online. But when you think about the fact that there's fewer shopping days, that probably means, like me, you may have some last-minute gifts to buy today. So just a couple of tips, right? Make sure you remember your budget. It's very easy to get into credit card debt this time of year. In fact, the average credit card debt is over $1,100. Maybe consider using TaskRabbit or Uber Courier to kind of go pick up things.
Oh,
right? That's
so that you don't see everything at the checkout. That's me. I'm like, ooh.
Right. And by the way, Vlad, I'm gonna say keep your receipts, because you might want to return some of those things if you impulse buy.
Oh, boy. Next year.
I feel like you're not an impulse buyer. I feel like you're very...
No, I don't tend to be an impulse buyer, but I'm not very good at like holding on to receipts. Or if I buy something and it's too big, I'll just keep it. And like, I'll just get the next one in the next size. I'm terrible about stuff like that. Kelly O'Grady, thank you very much. And you baked scones for the crew today.
What?
That is, I know. They're all gone, by the way.
Nobody brings them next time.
They're all gone. Brian, our stage director, is like, they're all gone. Thank you, Kelly.
If you're going to see a concert soon, maybe you got a holiday show, you're going to want to pay attention to this. If you're trying to find deals on seats, sometimes that can cost you more. The Pursuit. This year alone, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center found that Americans lost more than $2.3 million in online ticket scams. They thought they were getting a deal, they were getting had. Luckily, there are some ways that you can make sure the Holiday Grinch online does not steal your front row seats or your money. Lucas Gutterman from the U.S. Public Interest Research Group is here with some tips. Lucas, wow, good morning. Quite a turn we had to take there.
Yeah.
What are the signs that you're being scammed? How can you look out for them?
Yeah, there's some really big shows that folks are still excited to see, but unfortunately it's easier than ever now to get scammed by either getting counterfeit tickets or by giving up personal information that you don't want to. So the number one tip is just do not buy tickets from Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. Don't use any peer-to-peer payment services like Venmo or Zelle or PayPal. The thing about counterfeit tickets that's different than other counterfeits is that even if you have them in your hand, you don't know if that barcode is real. You don't know if that ticket is actually going to scan.
But, you know, for example, through like the Major League Baseball app, I've paid money to people I know through a person to get them to forward me then the tickets would show up on my app, and it's worked.
Totally. So if you know the person directly, or maybe if they're even a friend of a friend, that can be okay. But don't just go to a stranger and try and buy tickets.
If you've already bought tickets, because there are going to be people watching this who thought, I already got these tickets. Are they
I'm going
real?
to a holiday show tonight.
Oh, nice.
You think you are? How can you tell? How can you tell if the tickets are real?
Yeah, we have heard stories of people that have flown across the country to go see a show they were really excited about and then find out that their tickets didn't work. So one thing you can do is make sure that your ticket has a row and a seat number, and that row and that seat really exists, and you can check on the venue website to make sure that that's the case.
Wow.
And the other thing is just buying from a legitimate certified reseller. So the big major resellers, all of those are fine. And then if you're buying from a smaller ticket reseller, you can check to make sure it's part of the National Association of Ticket Brokers. They're going to guarantee that your ticket's going to work, and you're going to get twice the money you paid if it doesn't work.
National Association of Ticket Brokers, so you go to their website and then check the website that you're going on. But the big ones, this Ticketmaster, StubHub, SeatGeek, all those should be fine.
Yeah, all of those are fine. You can make sure that those tickets really work. The one thing to watch out for, even when you're buying from a big verified ticket reseller or ticket seller, is speculative tickets. So these are tickets that the reseller doesn't have yet, and yet you're buying it from them.
That's a thing?
That is a thing. It's totally legal. They do have to say if the tickets are speculative, so make sure you read the fine print. And actually, there's been a bill that was introduced last year in Congress that's bipartisan that would ban these speculative tickets.
Every time there's a major event, or many times, we'll do a little segment where we'll talk about how like tickets for the latest fill in the blank are going for $15,000.
Yeah.
That always seems like just impossible to me.
Right.
If you see a big number like that, I mean, is that real?
Yeah, that can be real. There's just still a lot of pent-up demand past COVID where people want to pay a lot to see shows. There are a lot of fees as well. And so you want to make sure that you're looking at the fine print, you're seeing all of the fees that could be tacked onto your tickets. But the reality is they are really expensive right now. So I would not necessarily discount something just because it costs so much.
And for folks watching right now who are thinking, this is all great information that I wish I had had before I was scammed, what is your advice to people who've already been ripped off?
Yeah, if you have already been ripped off, you should gather all of the information. You should go to the FBI. You can also talk to the FTC and file a complaint if you bought from a reseller. The Federal Trade Commission, yeah, and make sure that they know of any ticket resellers that are not working well. The biggest thing, though, is just don't get desperate, right? There's a lot of FOMO. People are really excited to see their favorite shows. Yeah. And when people are desperate, they are more likely to get scammed. So take a breath and don't make that impulse purchase.
FOMO makes you do crazy things.
Exactly.
Lucas Gutterman, thank you so much. In today's Money Watch, we are talking about, listen to this, everybody, an investigation by the Federal Trade Commission, which has revealed that companies may be using your data against you. Shocker. It is called surveillance pricing, and that is when a company sets the price you see based on your unique habits and demographics. CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady is here to explain how this is all working and if it's even legal. Kelly, what? How is this possible?
Okay, I know, right? It's pretty shocking. But you've probably heard of dynamic pricing. That's when prices are set based on supply and demand. So surveillance pricing is a lot more strategic and a lot more individual. So the three of us could all see different prices for the same goods based on data that a company can collect about us. And some of that data might include your location, your demographic info, like your age, your gender, your income, your shopping history, your browser history. One that really stood out to me in this study is they're actually tracking the mouse movements on a website, how long you're hovering over something. A wide range of economic retailers are using this, your grocery stores, your apparel. And I'll give you a very concrete example. So a company, based on this information, might know that you have a kid. It's late at night, they can see that you're searching for cold remedies, and now you might see thermometers at higher prices because they know you're desperate, maybe you've got a sick kid at home.
Are you serious? That ain't right.
It feels diabolical to me. I mean, next thing you're going to tell me they're like reading my wife's text messages, knowing what she wants me to get her for Valentine's Day. And
Oh, well, they already do that.
Helpful.
Yeah.
They're doing that? It'd be helpful, yeah. Maybe just tell me. If you're reading it, just give me a tip. I'll pay more for that service. How do people avoid this? Can they avoid it?
Okay, so there's a couple of different things. I mean, first, just be vigilant. You are responsible for protecting you, but you can clear your browser history on your phone. You go into settings or on your computer. You can also shop in incognito mode or use a virtual private network. And then I know that it's really enticing to use a company's mobile app. There's oftentimes discounts.
I love a mobile app.
I know, but they also
convenience.
know more data about you. So you could also just shop on the website.
What can I do to bring the price down? If I hover the mouse over a product,
Yeah, can you fool them?
Yeah, that's what we need to do.
So actually, sometimes if you leave something in your cart, there are studies that show that they will come back to you with a discount and said, oh, remember that thing that you were going to buy.
And this is legal, what they're doing.
It is legal. Yes, they'll have data about you. Yes, you might see a higher price, but it is legal for now.
All right.
Doesn't feel legal. Feels wrong. Feels wrong. Kelly, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're talking about a growing government effort to warn Americans about a potentially devastating scam that is now sweeping the nation. It preys on people who are looking for love and also looking to make a little money. It's known as a relationship investment scam. So what happens is sophisticated criminals use dating apps or social media platforms, even random wrong number text messages to lure in victims. They turn to fake profiles, fake images, fake voice AI created to make themselves appear attractive and professional. They build connections and then persuade their victims to invest what turns out to be a fraudulent business or investment opportunity. So they say, hey, I love you and I got a great opportunity for you. Please give me your money. Perpetrators call this technique, here's a lovely phrase for you, pig butchering, as in fattening a pig before slaughter. By the way, 2023 alone, nearly a quarter of all Americans said they were duped by some sort of cyber scam, and that led to the loss of $159 billion, according to one estimate. In most cases, they go unreported. People are embarrassed. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which works to protect market users and the public from fraud, is now joining forces with a whole range of federal and state and nonprofit organizations to warn the public about these scams. And so we are joined now by Melanie DeVoe, the director of the CFTC's Office of Customer Education and Outreach. Melanie, good morning. Thank you very much for being here. Everybody
Good morning.
thinks,
thank you for having me.
Everybody thinks it would never happen to them, but when it comes to, we usually talk about romance scams, it's like when the heart is involved, the mind isn't working. And now you have a kind of scam where the mind is working and people are saying, ooh, I'm gonna make some money here. How big of an issue is this?
This is a huge issue, and I'm really thankful that you letting me warn your viewers about this today. We see all types of Americans being contacted simply through wrong numbered texts or on dating apps or social media profiles or even on networking profiles. And the scammers want to get to know them, be their best friend or their love interest. And it's a huge problem, and we think it's growing.
Melanie, why does your agency say that in some cases the scammers themselves are also victims?
The United Nations has reported that the criminal organizations behind these scams are using human trafficking victims to perpetrate the scams. And these victims are locked up in what they call fraud farms across the world, and they're beaten if they don't scam Americans. So it's a very sad story of victims on both sides.
Wow.
This is horrible.
What a terrifying and horrific dimension to all of this. What are the red flags? People, again, you're going to hear my voice and assume this could never happen to you, but I promise it could.
And people who have been victimized are like, I never thought this would happen to me. At first, I thought it was a scam, but there's like this slow pull-in. Melanie, what happens?
Right, so, you know, you have a new best friend or a new love interest who's texting you every day, and you develop this relationship of trust, and then you realize that they're very wealthy and you want to know how. And you ask them if they can help you. And then they'll say, okay, yes, I can help you invest. And so at first you'll be very profitable, you'll get a little money back, and then they'll show you a website where you're making a ton of money, you think you're a millionaire, so you take out all your money and you give it to the scammers.
So what can people do to protect themselves? How can people check to see if a person is real or that website is real?
So I'd say if you have this type of online friend, you need to be very careful. Talk to someone you trust. Trust your instincts. And also go to cftc.gov/learn and protect to learn more about the scam. If you are scammed, we encourage you to report it either to the CFTC or to the FBI at ic3.gov.
So people are embarrassed if this happens to them. That's why most of these things go unreported. What do you say to that person hearing us right now who is embarrassed and is not reporting it?
I'd say go ahead and report it. You could be helping others avoid that same scam. And I'd also say please warn your friends and family about the scam. That if you know that this is out there, you're much less likely to succumb to it.
And something that I read on your website, Melanie, is that there's a website you recommend where people can check the age of websites, so you can see if something was newly created or not, which is, I thought, really helpful.
Yeah, that's cool.
Also, Melanie, quickly before we lose you, what does the Commodities Future Exchange Commission have to do with dating? Why did you guys get into this? You guys normally regulate like futures markets, like the price of wheat in a year.
Right, we are a financial regulator, and one of our jobs is to protect Americans from fraud. That's why we're involved.
All right.
That's fascinating. Cool. I love that. All right, Melanie, thank you so much.